In about 3 months, I managed to bring the product to top seller. We were the best sellers. And just, in 1 week, everything started to change. We were dropping from daily 50 units to 30, in another week to 20, and then back to like 2-3 units a day. So a huge percentage, like 1/4 of my sales were coming from there.
Yeah.
And suddenly, from the last week of August, just went to 8%. How can we solve this issue? Response, it was, we can do it. They even said, okay, since it's not possible, we need to close the case. And hey guys, you should not close this case because all of my inventory is there. I'm losing a ton of money. And they said, okay, if you reopen the case, you will be violating whatever guidelines. So we kind of, we punish it. And I realized if I send another container there, it's game over for me. The storage fees will kill me.
Hi everyone, welcome on the Monday Expert. Every Monday we interview an Amazon expert to share something about Amazon, a nugget, a tips, some learning. And today we are with Zsolt from Romania. He's been on the Amazon sphere since 2017, running freelance activity around Amazon PPC, selling on Amazon, and he faced an issue that Amazon doesn't want us to know, and we will talk about all of that. How are you, Zsolt?
Yeah, doing great. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. And I hope that we can shed some light on this issue and many more sellers can find out what Amazon is doing behind the scene with our inventory.
Yeah, because you face that issue that made you lose some sales, and it is relating on inventory. But before talking about that, let's talk about your history. So you start the Amazon PPC service in 2017, right?
Yeah, and so basically I transitioned from engineering to PPC in 2017. I started on Upwork, and I was kind of like an expert, an in-house expert for sellers doing that PPC SEO. And usually I try to dig deeper, inventory, pricing strategies, whatever external traffic can help, the brand growth. So I work with a low number of clients, usually 2-3 bigger clients, top sellers in their categories, and I try to fix issues, find issues and fix issues.
You've been doing that for the last 8 years, and then you bought a brand of your client.
Yeah. I was working with a client for like 3-4 years, and in 2022 he said, I want to sell my brand, and don't you want to buy it? And I said, yeah, I would love to buy it. This is exactly what I like, eco-friendly products. I'm addicted a little bit to this sustainability, eco-friendly solutions and stuff like that. And I said, okay, let's do a deal. So I purchased it in 2022. In 2023, I tried to fix manufacturer quality related issues. I found out that he's paying much more for the products than he should. So basically I changed some suppliers, and in 2024, I said, okay, let's see what we can get out of it, and let's apply the knowledge I gained during these past years, and let's see what we can achieve in terms of sales and rankings with the products.
Okay, got it. You faced that inventory issue with this store or another one?
Yeah. So basically, in about 3 months, I managed to bring the product to top seller. We were the best sellers. One of our very popular products. The niche is still small, so we went like from selling 20-30 units a month to like 1,500 or something like that. But we were the top sellers with these sales, and just in 1 week everything started to change. So like we were dropping from daily 50 units to 30, in another week to 20, and then back to like 2-3 units a day. So I was like, what's happening? I
You
invested.
didn't change anything regarding PPC. You didn't change anything regarding the listing. It just dropped like this.
Yeah, it's, the good thing is that since I was the owner of the brand, I knew what's happening. Like I knew that, hey, I did not stop any external traffic. There was no change in the background, anything like, when you are a PPC expert, you just later find out that, oh yeah, we were bringing some TikTok traffic or whatever. That was the reason. But I knew that, okay, I did not change anything. Like the listing was the same, reviews, we had 5-star average, inventory we had like for 65 days. PPC, we were even pushing more aggressively in order to, push the inventory because we had a lot of inventory. So what's happening? Our organic ranking started to dip. So I started analyzing these rankings by basically manually. So I said, okay, I don't always trust these organic ranking tools, trackers, because there are so many questions, like what postal codes they use, how many times do they check a day, and so on. So I started doing this manually, like basically changing the postal codes manually, checking, typing in the keyword where we show up. So in different parts of the country, like East Coast, just from the central part, one postal code, and something from the West Coast. Usually California is the best selling state, so I use that. So what I found was crazy. Like in New York, we were on top of page. Like even we had some Amazon choice badges for some keywords. And when I went to California, we were on bottom of the page for the same keywords. So the difference was huge between the two parts of the country. So I started thinking about what the heck is happening, what can cause this difference between California and New York.
Mm-hmm.
So I started digging deeper a little bit, and I started concentrating on those factors that can influence the rank on a regional basis. So not like listing, which is the same in the whole country, or like the reviews or the price, but something that is local and it's different in all the parts of the country. And another thing that can also be measured, like Amazon gives the data on a regional level. Here I can give a few examples so everyone, the listeners, can understand these searching factors. As I mentioned, the listing or price or reviews are the same across the country, so that's not a regional factor. But conversion rate, click-through rate, those are different in each state, I would say, each region, but we cannot measure because Amazon is not providing the impressions per state or the clicks per state, so you cannot calculate it. What is your conversion or click-through rate in, let's say, in California? So I needed something that I can measure, and it's regional, and sales velocity, something like that.
Okay.
Or
At that time, did you know that the ranking can be different depending on the location you are?
yeah, I've always been aware of this geo ranking, so it's different. But usually, in my experience, the difference is not that big. Like
Okay.
it's not like in one state you are on top of page, and the other one you are just on the bottom, few placements maybe. So this is why I was surprised mainly, and so started basically checking the sales velocity. What is the percentage of sales I'm getting from California versus the rest of the country? And I was interested about a longer period, just to see if I can find any patterns, like what could cause my drop basically in organic rankings in California. So when I analyzed this, basically I downloaded the order report and I took out the ship state. So based on that, I know that, okay, I got this many units in California or any other state. And again, I was using ChatGPT. I uploaded the reports and just asked for an area chart. And the interesting thing was that there was no pattern. So there was no dropping pattern in California. What I expected was a sudden drop from one week to the other. So basically like 20-25% of my sales were coming continuously from California. So a huge percentage, like 1/4 of my sales were coming from there. And suddenly from the last week of August just went to 8%. So it's like a sudden drop. I could
From
not.
from 1 week to another, you just dropped like this in California.
Exactly. So like the third week of August, I was still like 22% was coming from California. And then the last week of August was like 8% only. And I analyzed the next weeks after that, and they were dropping like 6% back. It's very strange. So first I thought that probably my return rate can be the issue. Like I had a bad batch. I sent a bad batch. I sell natural products, so it's very difficult to control the quality. They can differ. Each product is different. It's a natural pattern, and some people, when they don't get the same product, they return it because it's not a defect. It's a natural thing. But I thought that we had a batch that was not looking that sexy in California, so people are returning it. And again, I started, but there was no pattern. Like just after the week, my sales dropped. My return rate in California tripled. It was strange. So like after my sales dropped, not before. So I know that okay, the ranking drop couldn't be caused because of this return rate, because the return rate before the drop happened was good. So I started analyzing basically the reasons of the returns, and about 90% of them was related to late deliveries.
Your product are shipped by Amazon, right? You are doing FBA, and you are sending all your product into one warehouse, and it is supposed to spread that into the US, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah, that's this placement fee thing that was introduced last year. Everyone was so angry at Amazon, but I can understand we pay a ton of money on these placement fees. So usually how we do is we send in the whole container to a single location, we pay the fee, and they distribute the inventory.
Okay, so
But
it is
before
really
finding,
supposed to have to dispatch everywhere in the US. That's part of what you are paying, right? You are paying that to be dispatched everywhere in the US so that the delivery is the same. It's supposed to be the same everywhere in the
correct,
US. Yeah.
this is what you expected. If you are an FBA seller, they should not make a difference between like a west part of the US or northern part or whatever. You want to have your inventory in each part of the country, basically, so your customers can get it as soon as possible.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and again, here the strange thing when I noticed that, people are returning my items because of the late deliveries, I started analyzing my delivery dates again on different parts of the country. And in New York, I had like same day delivery, same day tomorrow, very good. In the central part, I had 2-3 days delivery, not that great, but acceptable. And in California, I had 5-day deliveries.
Okay.
So you can imagine one of the main advantages of Amazon is basically the fast delivery, right? But when people go and they find out that they will deliver your product in 5 days, they just cannot wait it because there are so many similar products out there they buy from the other brands.
Yeah.
And what I think that happened is because of this high return rate is that people were keep purchasing my product, probably not realizing the delivery dates, or some of them are even did not check, and they expected my items to be delivered in 1-2 days, especially that these items are used for events. So like when you have a big event in the weekend, you purchase the product on, let's say, Thursday, and you get it after the event. So it's normal that you return the item, right?
Yeah, that's why you return it. Yeah.
So that's where the return rate was coming from. And so yeah, but it was crazy. I said, okay, I need to find out what's happening, why I have 5 days delivery. And I knew back then I knew that, okay, it has to be something with the inventory. I don't have inventory there. So they have to ship from a completely different part of the country, and that why it takes 5 days for that. But if I have inventory on the West Coast, it should not take 5 days, right? It's not about preparing my inventory or whatever.
Yeah, sure. Did you find a report for that to know which number of inventory do you have in the part of the US?
Yeah. So I started doing this kind of research. How can I find out where I have the inventory? I had no idea. I'm a PPC guy. I'm not familiar with inventory management, So I started asking questions in different mastermind groups from friends. And hey guys, do you know what is the report that shows me where I have the inventory located? And yeah, you have this inventory ledger report. Okay, what's that? I downloaded it, and I noticed that I can filter basically based on the product I'm interested about, and I have the units, how many units I have in any of the FBA warehouses. So basically, there is everything you want to know about your inventory. Even how is it moving? They sent a batch from this warehouse to the other one. You can see if you download the daily report. So again, I went to ChatGPT. I uploaded the stuff just so I can understand visually. Create me a map and show me where I have the inventory. Where are these warehouses where my inventory is located? Basically, after like 4 or 5 trials, it created a US map. So it's crazy with ChatGPT. Sometimes you give some simple test, just create me a US map, and you get some shitty results. So it's unbelievable. So I struggled with creating just the US map first. And then, okay, look, these are the names of the warehouses. Find them and locate them. Of course, I had to manually check them because I had to make sure that, the location is correct, the address is correct, everything was pretty accurate. I can share my, maybe my.
Yeah, sure. We can see that visually.
Okay. Not sure if you can
Yeah,
see.
now I can see it.
Okay. So this was the, how can I, okay, good. So this is the original one I got from ChatGPT.
Okay.
So, the red dots is basically where my inventory is stored.
Okay.
So pretty much on the eastern part of the country, I had, some low number of units in Texas.
Okay.
But the problem was here in California and the surrounding area. Basically zero inventory here.
Okay, got it. So I suppose based on that, you were like, okay, I will tell that to Amazon so they will ship my stuff to the West Coast. Did they do it?
No, as we expected, not really. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And, it's not like, this is basically I also put the number of units I have in each of these. I can understand better how is it, but you can see that here I have like 90% of my inventory is in Ohio.
Yeah, okay.
And a few units here and here and nothing here.
Yeah.
And let's say what made me even more angry is that this container was shipped in like 2 months before. So it's not like they did not have time to distribute my inventory. My inventory was sitting here for like weeks.
Okay.
And even now, I have a ton of units here. I did not manage to sell it out. So yeah, I said, okay, let's go to Amazon. Let's see how can we solve this issue. All the numbers I presented, I have from them. It's my numbers from their reports. So basically, I went to them and I said, guys, look, I paid $5,000 in placement fee. You should have distributed my inventory, but all my inventory is sitting here based on the ledger report. And in addition to that, I also mentioned that I did some analysis in the historical sales of this product, and my best-selling state has always been California. So why don't I have inventory there, since they always say that they monitor your sales velocity, they have a smart algorithm.
Yeah, to dispatch the right way, etc. Yeah.
Exactly. It's not happening. It's not happening. So the response, not sure if you are interested, it was, I think you already know, like, we can do it. It's
We can do it. Yeah.
impossible. It's like, I said, okay. And they even said, okay, since it's not possible, we need to close the case. And hey, guys, you should not close this case because all of my inventory is there. I'm losing a ton of money. And they said, okay, if you reopen the case, you will be violating whatever guidelines. So we kind of, we punish you because of that. So you won't be able to open other cases. So basically, shut up. I understood that this is not a solution for me. I need to look for other solutions. And bad thing was that I had another container coming. And again, it's already from this product coming from India. And I was not aware of this issue. So I sent again to the East Coast, the whole container, with the same strategy of sending into one location and they will distribute. And I realized if I send another container there, it's game over for me. The storage fees will kill me. Somehow handled with the forwarder to send the inventory to AWD. They had this Amazon warehouse distribution or whatever system. Let's send it there. There we have two options. We leave it automatic. So when Amazon sees that we run out of inventory, they automatically send the inventory to FBA. Or we can do it manually. Since we had a lot of inventory, already, we said, okay, let's do it manually. And when we create this shipment, they realize that we don't have inventory in the West Coast and probably they send the whole inventory there.
Okay.
But again, unfortunately, this did not happen. They sent the inventory to the East Coast from AWDs. Again. Because it was cheaper. If you imagine, the AWD was on the East Coast. It was cheaper for them to send the inventory to the East Coast again.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And basically, there is no benefit for them to send your inventory to the other part. There are other brands like us. They were selling also a ton of units. Probably they had a ton of inventory there. They wanted first to sell that out. God knows how their algorithm works. But for sure, it's not benefiting you. It's benefiting them, right? They want to make...
How did you fix that? What solution did you do to fix that issue?
So basically, fixing that, I still have it. I had the solution, basically, the final solution in my head always, but I wanted to avoid that somehow. I had to, basically, you have to remove your inventory, like, send it out to 3PL. You need to relabel the boxes and send back in. Well, that's, first when you create a removal order, it can take 90 days. First.
Okay.
And it costs a lot of money.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
And again, you need to relabel it, you need to pay for that. You need to send it back in.
You need to pay again, yeah.
Again, so you can lose a ton of money on that. So I wanted to avoid that somehow. So what I did, and this is actually recently arrived another container to the West Coast. I said, okay, let's send one container to the West Coast and maybe, my sales velocity will increase again back. And they start distributing my units. About 2 weeks ago, I got another container to the West Coast and my sales velocity increased, not back to 50. I'm selling about 20, 25 units, but from 3. So this shows me clearly that the problem was, the delivery dates. My ranking started to improve. I'm again on, almost top of page. But my fear is that when I run out again on the West Coast, since they won't send from the East Coast, what will happen?
You will have the reverse issue. Yeah.
It's like the same thing. So, yeah, we'll see. I'm curious. So the basically the final solution, if you are in the same situation as I am, you need to remove your inventory. But I would rather say, if for those who listen to this podcast, avoid this issue by not using this single location placement fee combo. You have three options when you send in your inventory to Amazon. You can send in your inventory to a single location, pay a high fee for that, pay placement fee. The second option is they give you 2 or 3 warehouses where you need to distribute your inventory.
Yeah.
It's called partial shipment splits, as far as I know.
Okay.
You pay a lower fee, like maybe half of the complete fee, and you have with the distribution, but it's also good for you because you make sure that you distribute your inventory. And the last option is the best one, is called Amazon optimized shipment splits.
Okay.
They give you 4 or 5 warehouses where you need to send in your inventory, and in that case, you don't need to pay a placement fee.
Okay.
For beginners, for those who just started on Amazon and are tight on cash, this is a more difficult, let's say, option, because you need to pay your forwarders in order to distribute your inventory. And US is huge. Like, if they give you a location or a warehouse on the East Coast and another one on the West Coast,
the price will not be the same.
Money. Trucking. So those who don't have the money, they can do like as I did, send one container to the East Coast and the next one at least to the West Coast. Not always to the, let's say, East Coast, or always to the West Coast, because if they don't distribute your inventory, you will have all your inventory stuck in one part of the country.
Okay, got it. And now since then, every week you track 2 things, which is inventory and inventory distribution, right?
Yeah, so I'm tracking like 2 things: my sales velocity in each state,
Mm-hmm.
and my
Do you have
inventory.
a report for that? Do you have a report for the sales velocity geolocated?
So I have one, but now there are tools. I think even back when I was doing these things manually, I just heard in the event, someone told me that Helium also had this one.
Okay.
I never used it. I was not aware of this tool. But last year, at the end of the year, Sellerboard also introduced this feature. And so you can track your inventory levels and your sales velocity per state.
Okay.
Problem is, based on my experience, to be honest, they are not 100% accurate. It's not as accurate as you download your report and just order report, how many units I sold. It's clear. Inventory ledger, how many units I have there. Up to date.
Yeah, but for those who want to do that with accuracy and without paying any tool, you just have to download the report, put that into ChatGPT, and ask about the sales velocity, right?
100%. So just with ChatGPT, you create the same thing, like the same map as you have in, let's say, Sellerboard or other tools. It's you need to work a little bit. But at least you learn from it. You download it, you use it. You get used to it. So, yeah, I had a post about this problem on LinkedIn last year in September, when I realized what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of went viral. Like, back then I started posting on LinkedIn, I had like few hundred connections maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And this post got like 40,000+ impressions, and a lot of sellers were, messaging me, that small and large ones as well, even 8-9 figure sellers, that, hey, with some of my products this is happening, and I was not aware of it. Because if you have a catalog of like few hundred products, you're not able to monitor each of them. You need one person who is just doing that, monitoring your sales velocity, your inventory levels. It's pretty difficult to handle.
So what would you advise to a seller selling in the US? Small seller, big seller, what would be your advice?
Yeah, always be on top of your numbers. Like, check your numbers always. Don't use this single location placement fee solution if you don't have to. The best thing would be partnering with 3PS in different parts of the country. And basically, when you monitor your inventory levels and you see that I need more inventory in Texas because I don't have, you have a 3PL somewhere there, you send in the inventory, make sure to send in inventory to Texas or wherever you need the inventory. So basically, constant monitoring. It's very important because in my experience as a PPC manager, I have never been checking this problem, and I was pushing, products with PPC for ranking.
Yeah.
If you don't have inventory, you cannot rank.
Yeah.
You try to rank. And I had some extreme cases. I work with some very large sellers, and one of their products had the same issue. And it was, we were number one for a keyword of 30,000 searches per month, which is bringing a ton of sales. And we were, let's say, in one part of the country, we were Amazon's choice, number one organic. In a completely different part, when we did not have inventory, we are showing up in row number 9. So it's just crazy. And we did not even realize that we are losing a ton of sales because of this. You can imagine that Amazon, if you don't have inventory, first of all, the conversion rates kill your organic rankings because you have a lower conversion rate. People are not buying. But even Amazon is pushing you down because they don't want, if someone buys, they don't want to bring your inventory from New York to California. It makes no sense for them, right?
Your
crazy.
PPC cost goes higher, and you might think that it is related to PPC, but it is not.
Correct. And you push PPC higher. You don't have the option on PPC, on Amazon PPC to let's say, have different beats for different parts of the country. You basically have the same beat for the whole country. So you're pushing PPC, your PPC conversion rates are low because on one part of the country it's 0 probably. You are getting a lot of clicks, you are not selling, and you don't understand what's happening. And this can be one of the reasons.
Yeah, so that's a great learning, and I thank you for sharing that. So if there is one takeaway, stay on top of your number, right? Check your number, check your inventory. And
always, yes, 100%. And thank you for inviting me. I hope that I could help some sellers. At least they take, they focus more on this aspect of selling as well as they need to take in consideration as a search rank factor.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for sharing that. I will put your LinkedIn link in the description if you're okay with that. So
yes,
seller can contact you.
Yeah.
And thanks for sharing that. I know that Amazon doesn't want us to talk about that, but if it can help, let's share that.
We need. It's not a dictatorship.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Zsolt. See you soon. Bye-bye.
See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.